All right, one of the drills we're going to do tomorrow is a clear to 6v6. But before we get into the drill, I just want to go over some key terms that we're going to be reviewing in this drill. So as we set up our clear, whatever way we want to do it, goalie, defense, 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 midi. Doesn't matter. We're not going to go too specific on the clear, but the things we want to identify terminology wise is cheetah. Cheetah is the guy we're going to identify as the midi that we want to break to the goalie first off a save and get it in their hands. So ideally we'll make a save and the middies are communicating with themselves like, hey, I'm the cheetah, or the coach is like, hey, you're the cheetah. Cheetah is the person who's going to flash the ball, and we're trying to get the ball in their stick right away. If it's not there immediately, he could exchange with this midi, and now he's the cheetah. But that's just a verbal cue that we can use, especially with the young kids, as we're clearing. It's like, hey, you're the cheetah, and that word association should help them know that, hey, I need to go hunt for the ball. The next next terminology we're going to use is alpha. That's just the defenseman that has the attackman on him. So just to make it quick, let's say it's this option right here, and this defenseman has the ball. We're calling out, you know, Henry's the alpha or 19's the alpha, and that can be from the teammates, preferably the goalie, but probably the sideline. That means if we're pushing that side or if we see it, all we have to do is go over. 9 times out of 10, the attackman's not going to be there, so get that ball up and over, and that's our alpha look. Boston, Detroit, Seattle, pretty self-explanatory. If this is the box side's always Boston, so it's probably this area right here. Detroit's right in the middle, where the X is. Seattle is far side away from the box. So as we're clearing, give our guys, the ability to look at certain areas where it's wide open. So if the ball is here, we can be like Boston, Boston. If the goalie has the ball and we see the alpha's going, we can go Seattle. But just a verbal cue for you guys to let the kids know where to be on the area of the field, or a kid subbing on and say, hey, you get to Seattle, or get to Detroit, get to Boston. But these are the core 5 words we want to use as we're introducing clearing. So alpha is the attackman who's on the defenseman, get that guy over. Cheetah is the midi or maybe LSM, depending on your team, who's going to hunt for the ball right off the save. And then Boston, Detroit, Seattle are the 3 terms that we're going to use to identify the place on the field. And last thing I'm going to add is just subway. That's our substitution calls to say where, A3's, let's do a midi. See, M2's on the offensive end, and we want to sub them off. So we'll say subway M2. We'll get our subbing midi on sides. He'll sprint on over, and we're good to go. We'll get some pretty creative transition opportunities that we'll wrinkle into different phases. But to keep it simple, alpha, cheetah, Boston, Detroit, Seattle, and subway are the key terms that we want to work on tomorrow. So 6v or clear to 6v6. That's going to be one of our segments tomorrow, and it's going to be very simple. If we're able to work with the other team, so say for the high school group, my 26s and the 27s, we have a field together. So, or the 25s. So we'll have the 26 defense in. Whatever. And then we'll have the 25 offense in. So they'll be riding. We can just have them, drop back in a not too crazy ride. And in the clear to 6v6, ball will start on one end. Our goal is to clear the ball into the offensive end. Hopefully we can incorporate these terms. So we'll say, hey, cheetah, alpha, Boston, Detroit, whatever it is. Once we get possession on the offensive side, we'll give that team 30 seconds of possession time to play offense, to play it out. So let's clear the ball. Let's subway quick. Let's get into our 24 offense and play fast. Let's get 30 seconds in there. Once that 30 seconds is done, or we turn the ball over, or we score, let's flip it. Now the 25s or the other team is going to clear the ball to the other zone. And this is going to really incorporate some of the 6v6 stuff that we talked about, incorporate full field transition, and then allow us to work on our clearing terms. If you're a team that may not have a partner team, so maybe our 31s are in that weird spot. So we have the 29s, 30s, and 31s practicing together. So maybe we do the 29 and 30s together one week, and then the 30s and 31s can do it another week. But this is stuff that we can work on even with one team. So the regression to this, if we can't do clear to 6v6, we could have our guys just clearing the ball up to midfield, throw a ball in, and then we're playing O to D 6v6 half field. So that's the regression if we don't have enough players. So maybe the 31s or if the 28s or 27s want to do it by themselves. But I encourage you guys to try and partner with a team tomorrow when we go to clear to 6v6, just so we can get the full concept. Keep it fun so they get quick offense, but that's the gist of this drill.